Okay, in this next series of videos, we're going to be talking about developing a double stroke roll with your feet. It's not really something that a lot of instructional videos talk about, but I think it's something that helped my drumming, it helped me become a better drummer, and so I think it can help you become a better drummer as well. It's not like you're going to use it every single day or in every single band that you play with, but it's just another one of those tools you can have in your arsenal. So we're going to start off with developing just a double stroke roll on the feet using straight 16th notes. Now I'm going to be using the heel-toe technique, and if you haven't studied up on that, I highly recommend you go back to the heel-toe technique video and learn exactly what that is, and then really practice with both your right and your left foot, because that's what it's all about, especially when we're doing it with a double pedal and we need to do the alternating, and each foot should be relatively even. Not necessarily right at the beginning, but that's obviously what we're going to be working towards. So I'm going to play the first exercise at 120 beats per minute. Now you'll notice with heel-toe technique, it's hard to really go, something at 80 beats per minute. And usually if you were to do a double stroke roll at 80 beats per minute, the heel-toe technique wouldn't really apply as well, unless you've got some of your own special method or something like that. So the lowest I really go is around 100, 110, but I generally like to keep it 120 and above. So the slowest I'm going to do these is at 120, but I think you're still going to be able to hear exactly what's going on. So let's try it at 120, exercise 1. All right, so if you just want to practice that on its own, that's kind of the basis for developing a double stroke roll with your feet. You just need to sit there and practice that. Put on a TV or whatever, if you have a bass drum practice pad, just go practice that on the bass drum practice pad. And then what I'd recommend you do is to start developing speed is just bump it up 5 beats per minute as you feel comfortable. If that tempo feels really, really good for you, everything's locking in, bump it up 5 beats per minute. If you do it for 5 minutes and it feels really, really good, bump it up another 5 beats per minute. I want to play it again for you, and this time we're going to do it at 180 beats per minute. All right, so I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you are thinking, I can do that with using singles, so why would I want to use doubles? Well, just like when you play singles to doubles with your hands, no matter how hard you try, the sound generally changes when you go from singles, when you go to doubles. And it's not like it's any worse or it's not like it's any better, it's just used for a different application. And so, just like with the doubles and singles on the hands, it's the same thing with the feet. You're going to get a different texture, you're going to get a different feel to the groove when you play using a double stroke, as opposed to just a straight single stroke. And then the next reason that you need to practice this is, just like the hands, it's the combinations, right? There's certain combinations I can do using doubles around the drums rather than just using a basic single stroke roll. And now I also know what you guys are saying. You're saying, well, you only have a bass drum. So it's not like you can do different combinations down there, and that is also untrue. Look at drummers like Thomas Lang, Terry Bozzio, Virgil Donati, Horacio Hernandez. All these guys are using multiple pedals now. And where I see drumming going, I see that happening more and more. A lot of drummers are putting pedals right beside on the right, and a lot of drummers have a whole bunch of pedals on the left. And so just to prove my point, I'm going to move the heel of my foot onto my hi-hat, okay? And so now the motion of the heel-toe technique is going to be split over 2 pedals just on the left. And if I had another pedal on the right, which I don't right now, I could also turn my right foot like that and split the motion there as well. And then you'd be getting 4 different voices just using the motion of the heel-toe technique doing the double stroke roll. That is not something you could easily do with singles. It is possible, but I guarantee you it is not as easy. So let me just play number 1 again. I'll do it at 120 beats per minute, and I'm going to play with my heel on the hi-hat and my left foot. You're going to hear how it sounds. All right, now another application for this is basically you keep your right foot over here on the bass drum pedal and just put your whole left foot on the hi-hat. And you're going to get this weird kind of splashing sound now while keeping your right foot a bass drum pattern going. So let me show you how that sounds. All right, now that is not easier using a single stroke roll. So for those of you guys who don't know whether or not you want to develop a double stroke roll with your feet, I highly, highly recommend it. And in all the following exercises here on the sheet music, I kind of outline a progressive way that you can use to develop the independence between your hands and your feet playing a double stroke roll. And this is something that you could also, if you're struggling just playing the feet and that's getting really boring, these sort of exercises played over top of that could just make it more interesting and then, like I said, help develop the independence. So in exercise number 2, I've said basically just do a double stroke roll with your hands. Follow the feet. And just do this for now on the snare drum. All right, so let's try that. 120 beats per minute. I'm going to do a double stroke roll with my hands on the snare drum and try and lock it in with my feet. And now let's bump it up and try at 180 beats per minute. And this is just something I want to do just to demo it for you guys. Don't think you need to play it right now at 180 beats per minute. For me, I've been developing this for well over 10 years now, and so it's not something that's going to happen overnight. The technique itself can be learned in 5 minutes, but in my opinion, it takes a lifetime to actually master, and I am nowhere near there, but I hope I can give you some tips that'll help you along the way. So let's try it at 180 beats per minute. And now the next step, we're basically just going to put our right hand on the ride cymbal and play 8th notes along with the double stroke roll. And now let's try it at 180 beats per minute. All right, now we're going to complete the beat, and we're just going to add the snare drum in on beats 2 and 4. I'll do it at 120 beats per minute. So do you hear how doing a double stroke roll sounds a little bit different? I know you guys can see it, but can you actually hear it? Can you? Okay, don't worry if you can't. What I want to do next for you is I want to play a double stroke roll, then I'm just going to leave a bar empty, and then I'm going to play a single stroke roll. And so you can, like, back to back, you can hear the differences. And I guarantee you'll listen to one, you'll listen to the other, and you'll be like, yeah, they both sound cool, but they're both very different. And so that's really, really what I want to get across for you guys. It's not just necessarily a speed thing or anything like that. It's also about the feel and the groove and the pocket and everything like that. The stuff that people hear when they're listening and not necessarily watching. So let's do that at 120 beats per minute. So you can hear the difference there. You can hear the difference between the doubles and the singles. And there's nothing wrong with either one of them. They're just different. So now I want to play number 4 for you at 180 beats per minute and show you how it looks and sounds faster. So that is kind of basically how to develop a double stroke roll using your feet. I want to say one more thing to you guys before I jump on to the next exercise here. And that is, just use this framework, okay? Use these steps. Don't try and do something on your own right away until you're 100% certain that this doesn't work for you. This is something that I've tested not only with myself but also with my students. So it's not like I'm trying to jerk you around and give you stuff that's not going to work. The point of this instructional video is for it to actually work and to actually teach you and show you the steps that you need to take in order to develop a double stroke roll with your feet. So I really, really encourage you, follow these steps. Don't move on from number 1 until you've got it great and you're ready to go on to number 2. And then same thing, ready to go on to number 3, and then putting it together with number 4. And then once you get there, you're going to be so much better. Everything's going to be sounding cleaner, and you'll be able to go much, much faster. All right, so let's jump on to number 5. Number 5 is basically what I like to call killing 2 birds with 1 stone type of exercise. It's something that I've done, just groups of 4s around the drums, snare, high tom, mid tom, low tom, snare, high tom, mid tom, low tom. And basically, number 1, it's going to help you go around the drums and learn to do that. And number 2, it's going to work out your double stroke roll with your feet. And I guess we're kind of killing 3 birds with 1 stone, because it's also going to help you develop the independence and the separation between your hands and your feet. So we're going to use 3 birds. No, we're going to use 3 birds to kill 1 stone. Okay, here we go. So let's do number 5 at 120 beats per minute. All right, and for the final 5 exercises, I just want to demo them all for you and to show you how it sounds, how they look, and the exercises that I always use to work out the double stroke roll with my feet. I don't need to interrupt us in between each playing section. And so let me demo them all at 120 beats per minute for you and show you how they sound. Alright guys, so that is the foundation for developing a double stroke roll with your feet. Now obviously we can take it to different note values, we can break it up, it doesn't necessarily have to be consistently the whole way through, the dugga dugga dugga. So there's a million, billion, trillion other things we can do with it, and we're going to focus on some of those in the coming videos. We're going to focus on doing something called hurdas, which is kind of like hurdas I should say, and we're going to focus on applying it in a couple different note values. So check out some of the other videos once you complete these 10 exercises. All right? I'll see you guys there.